Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1648, 1648. I'm your host, Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. Today we hear from Bison Bentley, Valentino, Madame Rootabega. I have to tell you that I enjoyed a nice sleep that was almost 7 hours. That's pretty darn good.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I've been averaging 5 hours lately, and you can't live on that, especially at my age. So,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yesterday, I had a great day walking my dog Basil the boxer. Although it was hot, I have to tell you, I'm a talker, and I talked with my lady friend. We talked about all kinds of things, and then she got on board and she left me in, and I started to pout. She had to go home and, do
Mike's Daily Podcast.
home things, I guess. And she's got a cat there, so she had to see her cat. Life
Mike's
goes on.
Daily
I go home
Podcast.
with my dog,
Yeah!
and it was sad. Basil cried. Someday we're gonna have the dog and the cat meet. That will be an interesting time, and you will hear all about it, I'm sure, because it will be amusing. So yes, that is what is the plan. And plans are plans.
Yeah, no kidding.
So here's... Oh, look, somebody walked in to say hi here at Café Anyway. Hello, Mega Masters, Madame Rootabega. Woo. Madame Rootabega, so good to have you here. What do you think about this heat? This heat is hot, isn't it? I know! It literally can stop you from thinking, from talking, from doing things you want to do. That's so true. Oh, one of the interesting things yesterday, look who else walked in. I had no idea that as I was escorting my lady to the BART, that they are now with BART. BART, this is the Bay Area Rapid Transit for those of you outside of the area. They are really pushing the Clipper card, which I've already had the Clipper card for, ever since I moved to the Bay Area about 9 years ago. I said, yeah, this looks like a deal. I think they were giving you a discount at some point where after a certain amount of time, they took maybe $1 off.
And here's today's podcast picture.
To try to incentivize, but my lady friend was saying, yeah, I have this card. I have to have this Clipper card, and I have to have at least $15 on it. And I never noticed that because the way I have the Clipper card set up, it charges my credit card, all these cards. And so the Clipper card, which by the way, there's a Tim McGraw song that I'd completely forgotten about. And there's a local Bay Area AM station. The songs, you feel old, you feel outdated when the music that you were playing that was like total top 40 now music, country music is now being pushed over to an AM station where it's in mono, it's one speaker, has that sound that doesn't sound quite as full and bright as the real thing. It's not the real thing, it's AM. That's the slogan for AM radio stations, and I work for 3. So the country station plays a bunch of stuff from the 90s that I used to play. And it was so funny because back in the 90s, people were calling up the station and going, this ain't real country. Real country's Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson. Which really, no, those guys were outlaw country. That wasn't really country. The stuff that was selling, people were going into stores and buying, was some really cheesy, awful crap. And the people remember Johnny Cash because he was a rebel. The people remember Waylon Jennings because he almost died on that plane crash that killed the Big Bopper and Richie Valens and Buddy Holly. And they remember Willie Nelson because he's still alive as of the recording of this show and high as a kite. Hi. So, and Merle Haggard Merle was Merle. And Merle is a great word, Merle. Hi, I'm Merle Haggard. That was my Merle Haggard impression. and I hope you liked it. Did you like it?
No, God!
Okay. Well, at any rate, Tim McGraw, who had a lot of big country hit songs, he even had a crossover hit with a song that R. Kelly made? No, Nelly made it, that over and over again. But Tim McGraw has this song called She Can't Be Really Gone, where it says, her book is lying by the bed, the two of hearts to mark the page, and who could ever walk away from chapter 21? No, she can't be really gone. It sounded just like that. So there was a card, a playing card, the two of hearts marking a page. It was a bookmark. I thought that was a clever little use of imagery in a country song. So that was my little diatribe about cards. And carts are things that we used to use in country or in radio, where the song would be on a cart rather than nowadays it all just plays off of a computer. When we didn't have all that digital hard drive technology, we used to just play stuff off of tape, and the tape would be in this compact cart form similar to an 8-track tape. So my point being that you have to have a card to get on the BART, and nowadays it has to have exactly $15. I don't know what it... So if you're just like a visitor, a tourist from out of town, you don't want to put $15 on a card. What if you're just going one way and you only need $5 on a card? Well, now you have to pay a surcharge of 50 cents if you go under. I don't know when this all happened, but I freaking hate BART. I hate any measure that they put on the ballot that says, oh, we need more fund to fund more money for BART. And I'm like, no, they can't, they don't deserve it. Shut it down. Just shut the whole thing down. Turn the railways, do what they did with the train tracks all over the country. They turned them into tracks to trails, and we'll all walk to work. And that, my friend, is how we'll get it done. Hey, soccer fever spreading across the globe, and all of us at Facebook are excited too. Team up with other fans of the FIFA World Cup by adding a profile frame. What? No. God. I would have liked soccer, except I got into soccer because of a ex-girlfriend that I had met on a internet dating website, and holy smoke, somebody posted the body language from the G7 and how Trump's got his arms crossed the whole G7. Like, I don't want to be here. I want to talk to that little guy over there in Singapore. Yeah. Mike, are you making a comment about a dictator's size? Yeah. Hey, is it starting to sink in a little bit that we just made a deal with a ruthless dictator who puts people in labor camps because they tried to listen to a radio station outside of North Korea? And they don't just put you in a labor camp. They are such harsh, evil, ruthless authorities over there, the Kim Jong-un and everybody. They put your whole family and your family's family and like 3 generations into labor camps. We should. Why was there nowhere in that agreement, as far as I know, that Trump made yesterday, that hey, no more labor camps. They're done. Get rid of them. Trump has this selective memory, and then he gets mad at the Democrats. Well, so here's what it all boils down to. And I know the last show was talking all about, hey, we need to have communication. That's true. And this step forward, it feels like a step forward because a year ago we were doing this.
They will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
But this is going to end up being the Iran deal all over again. Only it's going to be Trump's, and the Democrats are going to be, which is crazy because the Democrats have wanted to talk to people that the Republicans, other countries where Republicans are, how dare you? Do you know what they did? Iran, you want to talk to Iran? No.
I think part of what is happening, I think Democrats are lighting their hair on fire to get you to cover this story, to try and keep repeating the same story.
It's the same story that keeps repeating the same story. Thank you, Paul Ryan. That's what it is. It's a story that repeats the story, and his story never repeats. I tell myself before I go to sleep. That's not Tim McGraw. That's Split Ends. And my favorite, oh so favorite, Finn brothers, Neil Finn and Tim Finn of New Zealand. I love the New Zealand accent. It's a great accent. So Mark Sanford was defeated. For those of you who, the vocal Trump critic who survived an infidelity, and his quirkiness for over 2 decades, South Carolina voters forgave him, but they could not forgive his criticism of President Donald Trump. He lost his first election ever. That's crazy. Yesterday, beaten for the Republican nomination for another term in the coastal 1st District around Charleston by State Rep. Arrington. Trump, in less than 3 hours before the polls closed, Trump endorsed Arrington on his Twitter. And somehow that took? Really? And he took a personal shot at Sanford? Mark Sanford has been very unhelpful to me in my campaign to MAGA. He is MIA and nothing but trouble. He's better off in Argentina. Referring to when Sanford went to South America in 2008 to have an affair, while his unknowing staff in the governor's office said that he was hiking the Appalachian Trail. Do you remember that? He survived that public confession, which I had no idea. I thought he just disappeared after that. No, he kept running for 2 more terms in the U.S. House. But because he became a never Trumper, he got primary. Well, I wanted to mention a little something today that somebody that I work with, he does a pretty good show on the radio. And I told him, hey, the show that I helped him record was a pretty good show. And he goes, thanks. My next show, he says, is I want to talk about how vaccines are bad. And I went, really? And he goes, yeah, vaccines are bad and we shouldn't have to give vaccines out. Okay. And then this suddenly sat in my head, and I was, we need vaccines because... No, we don't need vaccines, he said. It's very interesting that vaccine controversies have occurred almost 80 years before the terms vaccine and vaccination were ever introduced. Despite scientific consensus that recommended vaccines are safe and effective, unsubstantiated scares regarding their safety still occur, resulting in outbreaks and deaths from vaccine-preventable diseases. It's like, hey, come on, everybody. Let's go back into the dark ages. Why do we have this need to go back into the dark ages all the time as humans? Oh, there's no such thing as climate change. Back into the dark ages we go. Oh, but we'll keep our cell phones. We'll keep everything that we got since we were enlightened with new technology, digital technology. I'll keep listening to my streaming music, my Spotify. But let's go into the dark ages again. Another source of controversy is whether mandatory vaccination policies provide civil liberties, or violate, rather, civil liberties or religious principles. And yeah, I'm reading this off of Wikipedia. And yeah, that's not... And yeah, the Russians elected Donald Trump. Wait, where is she? Where's my...
America elected Donald Trump. And yeah, the Russians helped.
Okay, so what happens with this vaccine? This is always going to be happening. So just be ready for this. And it happened with this guy that I thought was intelligent, and all of a sudden he's spewing this anti-vaccine fervor at me. What really gets me mad and why I'm all passionate about this and heated about this is that he kept saying to me, Mike, you don't have kids. You don't understand. If you want to get me so freaking irked off, you say that to me. And how dare you? And how inconsiderate is that? A person who is almost 50, who doesn't have kids, why bring that up? Do you ever think that might be a soft subject, a very hard subject for me? Jeez. And he just brings it up like, oh, and you don't have kids, so you don't understand. Oh, God, that got my ire up. At any rate, he was saying vaccines aren't needed because it's all big pharma. He used the big pharma conspiracy. It's all conspiracy. Big pharma is funding vaccines. So big pharma. Okay, so when, and this guy gets sick a lot. When you go and your doctor tells you, prescribes to you, you need this particular medicine, you don't think big pharma was involved in telling that doctor to get, to give you that medicine? It's just so, it's crazy. When I had to tell him, don't bring up the you don't have kids thing. I have friends that have kids. I love their kids dearly, and I would care about their kids getting a vaccine that they didn't need. But they need the vaccines. I needed the vaccines. I'd probably be dead now if I didn't take the vaccines when I was a kid. And there was not big pharma. There was not the big pharma, quote unquote, that we have now or whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the whole big pharma stuff. You can probably send me links to all these YouTube. So this is where he got it from, was some stupid YouTube video. And just because they make a YouTube video out of it does not mean it is gospel truth. Oh, but Mike, you can't trust the media. All right. And that's the world we live in. People shouting out,
"You are fake news. Fake news. Fake news."
As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Also, I was talking to someone who hosts another show. And on talk radio, here's how things are going. You could actually do a show as long as you have a pretty good quality microphone from your house. You could do it over Skype. And there are some people that do that. They're really not supposed to, because Skype is not the best quality and it can dump out on you and just stop, and all of a sudden it cuts out. So this person who seems to think that I can do all kinds of magic said, hey, so because I'm doing this on Skype, I'll just turn on my microphone and you can broadcast it. When he said that, I think my head did this. When he said, oh, where is it? When he said that, because this is radio. That's the whole point of radio. It predated TV, which had images. This is radio. What's a camera gonna do in this situation? Oh, just put it on the website. Yeah. I can do that. I'm the webmaster too. That's why they pay me. So, anyway, we won't go into all that, but that's there. That's what that is. That's a Wednesday, my friend. That's a Wednesday. I didn't even say hi to the other characters that were standing here the whole time.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the banking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do that!
Wow, that's some crazy stuff today.
Yeah, very crazy. Hey, next show we're going to have the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Thank you for listening to the show. Hopefully it cools down a little bit. That would be nice, because I don't like the heat that much. Can you believe he said that to me? God!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
The podcast picture is from Richmond over by the marina in the Bay Area. You're welcome.